Hey everybody, it's Wayne D. Welcome to the website. And as you can see on the screen, it's my student and friend Will Wilcox. Played great this week at the firstweb.com tournament down in the Bahamas. Shot in the only player in the tournament to finish with 4 rounds in the 60s. Shot 15 under and finished one shot out of second. Finished tied for fourth. Great start to the season. And these are some shots that he hit. So obviously, this is just what Willie does. He just sets up, feels out where he wants to hit the ball. You can see where they drew that line over here. So keep that in mind. And you can see the whole body is nicely open. And then he just does the Willie swing on it that very few people do, if anybody. And he just keeps hitting it good. So let's just watch a few swings here. He was over last week, and I filmed him out at Boca Rio. So we were hitting all the clubs, and went out and played a little bit. He was hitting it so good, I figured he'd have a good week. I was hoping he'd win, but almost. A couple shots. That one was out of a divot. So if you don't like that approach and impact, you don't know anything about golf. Pretty lucky to be working with a guy who's got my favorite swing on tour. Any tour. So that was probably his worst shot of the week. He hit it way, way, way right. But found the ball and ended up making a bogey. I think this was the provisional that he didn't have to use, but he striped this one right down the middle. And here's the shot from the housing development. That went over the green somewhere. So anyway, those are the shots on television. So if we go back to last week, here's a couple of wedge shots. So the interesting thing about the wedge shots, obviously doesn't have to pull it in behind him quite as much. Smaller swing, but same action. Watch the flattening here. So Willie he's got a big advantage because he can really hit down on it, and it's so shallow that he still never digs the club. So when you look at the at the shaft angle there with a sand wedge. That's pretty low, and this is the impact he's putting on it. You can see why he can control his golf ball. So it is interesting if you look at and this is just something that he does even on a little wedge shot, he'll set up a little bit behind it. The ball's usually forward. He gets his hands so forward that's actually a good thing for him. And then he's just going to consistently move to where he's a little more on top of it, where most guys would set up originally. So if we go over to an iron shot, once again, some unique things. Got the ball well forward. You get the club leaning back. We'll get a tiny bit of right load in the takeaway. His head's going to move forward. But again, look where the ball is and look where he is. So that forward movement still does not get him ahead of the ball. It's in perfect shape where those hands are. I mean, that's just brilliant. Let me check that one out from behind. So my sense of the way Willie plays is that he doesn't really aim. He knows where the target is, and he will he will just set up and feel where he wants the ball to come out. So the high hands at address, club comes back slightly in. Very slightly vertical, good neutral wrist. There's the kick. Now look where his legs are. So one of the big keys in Willie's swing with this setup is how far back he moves that right leg, and then how he stays back there. Look where that left hip is. So now he's impacting it. Remember, he's set up at 60. He's impacting it at 53. So, again, like nobody does this. Alright, so one more cool thing. Let's look at a driver swing. Let's go face on. So again, we're going to see that square right foot, extra flare on the left, ball extra forward, handle leaning back, beautiful. Watch the handle drag, watch the shaft bend, there it is. So look at the shaft reverse bend. So the hands are moving, the club's being dragged. So that gives him some width. He's going to right load that thing and then come back. So I'd say his balance point here is a little bit extra to the right. It's going to stay there. He's going to move into his left side. Now look where the handle's going to be when he hits this ball. So that's pretty ridiculous. And if we look at it from down the line, once again, you're going to see how the right leg gets incredibly deep. And this is a really high handle for a driver. You won't see too many guys up at 50. Of course, he's not going to hit it from there. Watch where he hits it from. So every now and then, you can see it here, Willie would get a little too square with the shoulders. And when he comes down, the club gets a little caught underneath him. But it's so low and the club is coming from the side so much that this would just be slightly offline. But anyway, I think it's one of the great swings. And I fully expect him to win a couple of these web.com tournaments. All right.